Well, welcome to Central Valley Business. I am your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Tony Lara. Tony, you're with a Love Our Nation's Vets.
Yes, Love Our Nation's Vets.
Love Our Nation's Vets. All right, Tony, I want you to tell me, how is it that you got into this thing?
Shortly after, one of my best friends in 2010, we were deployed together, and his time was up, so he went home about 2 months before we came back home from deployment. About a week after we came back home from deployment, he committed suicide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They found him in the hotel room and whatnot, and nobody really knows why he did it. Not even his family. He left behind a mother and a sister.
Yeah.
So shortly after I got out, since I separated from the military, I realized that suicide it's a big thing amongst veterans.
It's a very, very big thing amongst vets.
And I just like other organizations out there, I want to do my part and to raise awareness.
Tony, I think that's a great deal because, what a lot of people don't realize is our young men, it's all volunteer. Nobody gets drafted. They go on their own. And then they come back. Oftentimes they've seen some pretty horrendous things. They come back to a society that they may not be real comfortable fitting into, and they don't have tools, and they don't have resources. What you're doing is powerful, son. I think that's very good. So tell me about Love Our Nation's Vets.
Yes. It started, I want to say it started shortly after I got out of the Navy, because ever since then I was dedicated to race awareness. Love Our Nation's Vets started in March when my wife and I, after school, I came home from school, and I was just inspired. One of my instructors at Phoenix was Jim Santos, and he inspired me because of his own personal challenges and not what he's doing now to raise awareness amongst veterans as well. And so I came home and I talked to my wife. I thought, what, we have to do something. We got to do something. And I'm not a big social media guy, but I feel like we have all these resources in our hands right now. Why don't we just start raising awareness?
Okay, I want to ask you, what does your organization do specifically?
Initially, we want to raise a veteran awareness.
Okay.
In all aspects, anywhere from homelessness to substance abuse,
right?
To domestic violence,
right?
But also, we want to be there in the success of our veterans by offering workshops and for example, like how to build a federal resume, to maybe counseling at some point. I want to partner with Mr. Santos. He did one of his plans is to open up 100 unit for homeless veterans.
For homeless vets.
Yes.
That's here in the Fresno area?
Yes, correct.
And there's a large homeless contingency of veterans here in this area. And I know the VA's been working on it some, but we need a lot more done. Now, you recently attended a stand down. Tell me about that.
Yes, correct. It's an annual event.
Yeah.
It's called the Veterans Stand Down.
We have some pictures up here.
Yes. And basically, they offer any services from haircuts. The homeless veterans can come and get haircuts. They can seek shower. If they need help applying for an ID or a Social Security card, they're there for services. But also, there are other services to help veterans succeed in life, from giving them counseling. Like a lot of veterans that we talked to had issues with drinking and other substances. And it's a wide range of veterans. It's not just the young, it's all ages.
Yeah, we go, we still have a few World War II vets out there. Some of them, we got Korean War vets, we got the Vietnam War vets, we got vets from all sorts of eras.
Correct.
And they all have issues.
Yes, sir.
So, all the different generations. So I think that's great. Now, how do we get a hold of you? You're on Facebook. What's your Facebook page?
It's Love Our Nation's Vets. So Facebook /
Love Our Nation's Vets. Love Our Nation's Vets.
Yeah. Just check us out, like our page. We're also on Instagram. We have just under 10,000 followers on Instagram. So we have a good faithful followers and whatnot that are constantly commenting on our, and even giving us, telling us how great this page is. And
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you have a web page.
Not yet. That's what we're working on right now.
Okay.
We're waiting to file for nonprofit status. Like I said, we want to become a household name here in the community, so we want to do as much volunteering as we can before we
And you've
file.
got that in the works already,
Correct.
right?
Yes, correct.
Well, that's cool. Now, you mentioned something before we went on camera about women vets. Tell me about what's this that you got going on?
Yeah, female veterans make
Yeah.
up 8% of the whole population of
Right.
the community, and it's from from '06 about 1,300 women were female veterans were homeless, and that
Really?
number, yeah, and that number it's expected to rise by 2013 or by 2016,
Uh-huh.
and the percentage in female veterans is going to increase in 2013. It's going to increase about 20%, I believe.
And nowadays, we have female vets that are combat veterans.
Correct.
And so that brings a whole new, well, it's not new now, but there's a whole other field specific to female combat vets where they're going to need help with, too.
Correct.
Tony, I think that's great. Once again, we can get a hold of you through Facebook at Love Our Nation's Vets.
Correct.
Is there any other way? Is there a phone number or something we can get a hold of you at?
They can find that information on the detail.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, son, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for what you're doing, and welcome home. All right. We're going to go to our break. We'll see you when we come back.